See His love in your face.
Why continue to do LifeHouse? Why be here? I could be very selfish and tell the truth and say that as you get older, the brain stops working, and so some people do crossword puzzles and I memorize scripts and do lines and things like that. I could say that it's a great place to bring my kids because it's quality theater. You'll never have anything off color on stage. I could say that it's a community service and that it helps keep kids off the streets and doing good things. And all of that is true, but most of all, it's because I can use my gifts and the gospel, and putting those two things together, I could serve God in that way, and that's why I keep coming back to LifeHouse.
Coming here is just so much fun. You get to work with so many different people from different walks of life, from the younger folks to the older ones to the in-between, and I'm just having a blast doing this stuff.
Up on stage, I could be somebody totally different. It gives me an outlet to just express myself.
You can express yourself in a really unique way, and I feel like that's something really good that LifeHouse does.
Just how supportive everybody is, welcoming everybody is. I honestly feel like just orientation, we already know each other, and we already feels like family. And just how much everybody supports and lifts each other up.
I like the atmosphere. It's a Christian-based atmosphere. I also love the fact that it's something that my son and I can do together. He's on stage and I'm out serving in the front.
It's family. I mean, I met my best friend here, and I know that, you know, there's constant prayer for you. You can just come and be at home here.
The atmosphere. It's Christian theater. My family is all involved pretty much. My brothers, my sisters have been in shows, my dad, my aunts and uncles, cousins, and then family. I met my wife here. My brother met his wife here. My other brother met his wife here. So it's kind of a tradition, apparently.
The main reason why I want to be here is because it's really showed me what friendship is actually supposed to be like. Because I know there's a lot of, outside of LifeHouse, there's a lot of interactions, there's a lot of factors, there's a lot of stress factors, a lot of things that go on in everyone's lives. And when I come to LifeHouse, it's real easy to forget about those things.
It's just such a good environment to be here with so many people that will accept you for anything that you are, and no matter who you are.
Well, when I came to LifeHouse, it was just people accepted me for who I was. Well, this guy is different, but he's like us.
Being able to come to a place where there's such positive energy and everybody just loves everybody, it's really a nice change.
I've been in other theaters where people are mean-spirited. They're selfish. They're out for the glory of themselves and no one else. And here, it's love, it's encouragement, it's friendship.
Up on stage, I'm not really scared. It's just normally when I'm around people, I don't really know. I don't know what's going to happen. But LifeHouse, it's a Christian community, so I don't really have to be scared of anything.
It's a place where you can come and you know you're safe. You know you're fine. You're going to have fun. I enjoy doing shows.
It's been the most fun and the hardest work I've ever done in my life.
What makes me want to be here was definitely the love and the peace and the support.
Why LifeHouse? I just like to be involved with something that is ministry-minded and ministry-goaled. They have a goal of kind of having a thread of the gospel through their shows and through the scripts. And being able to reach people who've never heard the Word of God through a play, they hidden in nooks and crannies of the script. It just is a way just to speak God's Word into their hearts, because when we plant a seed, God's the one that waters it.
It's an opportunity to invite people to come and hear, God's Word without actually, beating them over the head with a Bible or whatever. They get to come here, they hear God's Word. Great productions. This is just such a professional group.
I remember being excited to perform because I hadn't performed in a long time, and I love to sing, I love to act. But I remember someone saying, and I don't know who it was, at one point that we were worshiping God while we were on this stage, and that we needed to show the audience that that's what we were doing, and that it should be very easy for us because we love God so much. And that really hit me. And every time I get on this stage and perform, I remember that not only am I doing this I'm not doing this for the glory of myself, I'm doing this for the glory of God. And what a privilege that He has allowed me these talents to do that.
why LifeHouse? What comes to mind is the words spoken by the character Barnabas in the show called The Road to Damascus. He said, we have to be Jesus to these people. And I see that with LifeHouse. That's what LifeHouse is doing. When I was a child and I was taught about Jesus, he didn't just teach good lessons, he acted them out. And we're being little Jesuses by doing that. We're acting out these stories in a way that is more powerful than if someone just tells you. You're seeing it, and it's indelible.
So all the work that we do, like behind the scenes, and the actors and the actresses, and the writers and the tech, and I mean everything, we just play a small part in what the audience and what the patrons will hear on a day that they come see a show at LifeHouse.
I'll never forget being in the finale, and I look out in the audience just to see the reactions, and the countless times that I would see people in tears sobbing, not just staring and a tear going down, like actually like sobbing. And I said, God, you're reaching out to people here, and if this show is touching people's lives, then that's totally, making it worth it. And so putting the ministry out there first is really what really gave me that moment.
LifeHouse, it actually gave me hope. When I was a little kid, it was hard. I was the shy guy. I was always alone. I always tried to be somebody different. When I came to LifeHouse, people actually loved me for who I am.
Then for me, being on stage, it brings me close. My dad passed away, so it makes me feel really close to him on stage.
You have a community theater that is telling kids that the Christian life and the Christian morals are worth living and are worth pursuing, because more often than not, they may not be getting that in school. So this is a place where that can be instilled, and it's fun, and they can get great friends, because a lot of times you are who your friends are. And as we've all heard, as what I've been listening to, you can meet your spouse here. And you can make some great friends here, and you can instill in other people the gospel, and that's part of the reason. There are open arms at LifeHouse. It's an interdenominational ministry, so you will get people of all colors and flavors here, of all different churches. So it's a great way to minister to others.
Try to straddle LifeHouse in one word.
LifeHouse in one word. Oh my gosh.
My one word to describe LifeHouse Theater is life.
Benevolent.
Hope.
Family.
Love.
Friendly.
Accepting.
LifeHouse is inspiration.
Family. Love. Family.
Compassion.
A light.
Caring.
Quality.
Love.
Home.
I am so grateful to be here. Thank you, LifeHouse.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome tonight. I'm Wayne Scott, the founder and president of LifeHouse Theater. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that wonderful welcome, and I'll pay you all later, but thank you for that. Very kind of you. It's always an honor to welcome you here. Most of the dearest people I know are here in this room tonight, and it's an honor to be able to present tonight's program. And it's fitting to be here at Trinity Church because much of our work began here back in 1986 when I was an associate pastor here, and some of our first productions were staged at Trinity. So in a way, we've come full circle. To those of you who've worked with us back then and countless others who have helped along the way, please know how truly grateful I am. And all of us in the organization know that we have been building things on your shoulders, and we appreciate that so much. Tonight, we welcome our seasoned subscribers and longtime guests. We welcome our many cast storytellers and some of our many hundreds of alumni, our many hardworking volunteers, staff, and advisory board members, and members of the media, and also many of you out in live streaming land on YouTube are watching us live tonight. We welcome one and all. Thank you for joining us for our 23rd season celebration. I don't know about you, but it's hard to believe it's been 23 years, and the calendar just rolls by. I think some of us on our staff are measuring time by shows and by certain productions, and are we doing that one again? It seemed like we just did it. But it's such a blessing to be a part of it with you, and thank you for joining us again tonight. Well, we're a faith-based community theater, arts outreach, it's no secret, and so let's take a moment to acknowledge, invite, and thank the one who has made all things possible. Would you please join me in prayer? Father in heaven, my heart is so full tonight, and so are the hearts of so many people. And we want to thank you for sustaining our outreach for 23 years. Father, the first thing we learn about you in Genesis 1:1 is, in the beginning, God created. You are a creative being, and we acknowledge that you are the author of all creativity. We thank you for the creative gifts that you've entrusted to us, and for those who are on stage using those gifts, as well as those behind the scenes. We welcome you here now as our unseen, invited guest, and we ask you, Lord, to bless everything that you see under your watchful eye tonight. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, tonight's mission, we are gathered here tonight to celebrate and to anticipate. We celebrate all God has been doing in our midst this past season, and we joyfully anticipate what God may have in store as he continues to open doors of opportunity. And so tonight we're going to commence by celebrating and we're going to highlight a special moment from this past season. We look back on our recently concluded musical, Moses, and you made this production a smash hit, and we were all blessed by this amazing musical biography of history's great man of God. So we welcome now to our stage our good friend and veteran performer, Dave Hurley, who is going to sing from Moses the song, Keep the Faith. Dave?
Before we start, I'd like to add to what you just heard up here. Everything that you just heard is very true. And I'd like to add by saying that LifeHouse to me is my church. Wayne is my pastor. He helped me through a very difficult time recently. I just lost my wife last year in February. There's others that have had the same misfortune, and he has helped me through that difficult time. I think if it wasn't for LifeHouse and Wayne Scott, I would have just crumbled. So I'm very thankful to him. And this song kind of demonstrates that. It is not for me to say why hardships come our way. There is so much I do not understand. There's so much I do not see. Life is such a mystery, but I know my life is still in God's hands. He moves in ways no one ever could. He uses people no one ever would. And if you love him, all things work for good. Keep
Thank you so much, Dave. You can tell that was obviously from the heart, and we certainly appreciate your presence in all of our lives. And we continue to celebrate the past year and our current season with a fun look back on all that has happened on our LifeHouse stage since we last met here a year ago. But before we journey down that memory lane, we also celebrate the life of a dear LifeHouse storyteller that God saw fit to call home just a few short months ago. John Hallenbeck left us unexpectedly, but not before making an indelible impression on all of us as not only an outstanding performer in many productions, but also, even more importantly, as a gracious and godly friend and example to all of us. As all of our alumni know, we pray before each rehearsal and performance, and we share our lives together. And though we represent perhaps 20 different congregations in a single cast, though we are of all ages, though we come from all walks of life, we unite our hearts in common service to the Lord. We grew especially close to John in his warm, witty, larger-than-life presence. He taught us what is truly important in life, and he kept his eyes on the eternal. And so it's fitting that we begin our retrospective with John as we salute God's hand in his life, as well as God's presence in our work together on stage.
his head with your words. Said the first would be last and the last would be first. You loved the traitor, those who spat in your face, and you gave up a throne for a cross and a grave. I wanna be that radical, fearless and fanatical. Crazy! I don't care if the whole world calls me crazy. I don't care if it looks like I lost my mind. I'm alive to live a reckless, righteous, foolish life. Baby, I was born to be crazy. observe. You spoke of kingdoms that no eye has seen, and proclaimed you're the way to eternity. I wanna be that radical, fearless and fanatical. Crazy! I don't care if the whole world calls me crazy. I don't care if it looks like I have lost my mind. I'm alive to live a reckless, righteous, foolish life. Maybe I was born to be crazy. I was born to be crazy. Some say strange, some say odd. I say child of the living God. Some say mad, some say wrong. I say child of the living God. Some say strange, some say odd. I say child of the living God. Some say mad, some say wrong. I say child of the living God.
After watching all that, no wonder we're so tired. That's all that's happened in the last year. Well, as you've seen, we have another full year at LifeHouse just passed, and since we last met here, we have had during that time 9 weekend productions, an incredible 198 performances to more than 30,000 guests, 3 Life Tales musical biographies for school students, which were about 24 performances, I believe, in all. About 4,000 students saw those from all over the Inland Empire, and even more as we took those to some specific schools. And then we had 4 Sunday night specials presented to another 1,000 guests, and 8 performances that are signed and presented to the deaf community, as well as summer drama camps for dozens of young people. So we've been busy. And as comprehensive as all of that is, there's even more to our outreach story. And as our friend Eric Bishop comes up at this time to join me on stage, I'd like to point out that Eric is not only our volunteer cast chaplain for our productions, but he's also leading our LifeHouse Theater outreach, affectionately known as LTO. Thanks so much for joining us, Eric. Well, you certainly do keep very busy with the LifeHouse Theater outreach. Maybe you can tell us a little of what you've been up to.
Sure. This past year actually was a little bit of a down year for us because I had a busy thing happening in our life. Our daughter got married this year, so that... one down, one to go. No, and then we're home free, you know.
Now, we didn't have you up here for commercial plugs, all right?
Sorry. But yeah, so we traveled A Song in My Heart at 3 or 4 locations this past year, and we also did a couple Heroes of the Faith performances. But we're looking forward to the next year.
The Song in My Heart are the stories behind hymns.
Correct.
And then the Heroes of the Faith is sort of a zippy vaudeville-style review of some of the Old Testament
prophets.
Correct. Yes, there we go.
That's great.
And what do you have next coming up?
Well, we're excited for the new year. We have a couple new productions that we're working on to hope to bring the beginning of the year. And then the outreach that you and I can talk about more later, the outreach really wants to get more involved with the ongoing daily things that LifeHouse does so that we can reach our family of actors and storytellers even more through the outreach of what the theater does. So there'll be more to come on that.
They've been just terrific to help us all year long, and I know our lights probably won't go up right now, but who here has been part of the LifeHouse Theater outreach? I'd love for you to stand or raise your hand, either one. There's, there we go. Oh, wow, look at that. Yes. In the back. Thank you so much. We appreciate the many productions that you are involved in, and sometimes almost at the drop of a hat, depending on the schedule and when you're requested to go out to various churches and other organizations. So, yes, Eric, I can't thank you enough for your leadership, and I know there's a couple of new shows in development. So
there are.
We'll look forward to those for next season, and we'll be sure to announce those. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. And coming up next on stage is our general manager, Jeff DeWitt. And Jeff not only... Very good. He is well deserving of that. I'm so relieved for a moment I thought it was just his family that was going to applaud, but...
I don't think my family came.
Well, we'll make up for it, Jeff. We'll be your family. But anyway, Jeff not only helps me administratively in the whole organization, but he also coordinates our relatively new program of Sunday specials. And what are those, Jeff, our Sunday specials? And how many of you have not been to our Sunday... Oh, no, you shouldn't raise your hand because I won't speak to you. But anyway.
If you haven't been to one of our Sunday night specials, you've really been missing out. A lot of times our weekend productions don't quite accommodate so many of the wonderful shows that are out there. So we've developed the Sunday night specials as a way to bring about these kind of one-act, different theatrical events to the theater. And we've had, I think, about 5 at this point we've done, and they've all met with a lot of success.
So we didn't want to just sit back and relax some Sunday evenings. We want to have some specials about once a month or every other month or so. And what are some of the things we've been up to?
So far, what we've done, we started out trying Great Minds at the Round Table, which you were in, along with a couple others.
Well, I just played myself. That's pretty... it's a challenge.
But that went over so well, we brought 4 more in this past season. We did A Song in My Heart. The LTO group produced that, and we did that in August, I believe. And then we brought in the Florence Nightingale production, and we brought in a new production of A Christmas Song in My Heart, which is essentially the Song in My Heart format, but with the Christmas carols. And that went over so well, that looks like it's going to be a new annual event at LifeHouse for the holiday season.
Yes, we'll have one. We'll schedule that for next December as well. And we're going to, each year, we'll add some, we'll kind of mix it up and trade in some new stories behind the carols. They're amazing stories.
And then the final one we did was An Evening of Love and Laughter, which featured you and your lovely wife, Jeremy Yo. and you guys were hilarious on stage, and it had the comedy of John Gominiak as well.
Yes.
And that was for Valentine's Day.
Great stand-up comedian for Valentine's. That was fun. Well, thanks for helping to coordinate all that, Jeff, and we have some neat things coming up, don't we?
We do. We have a few more to announce. On July 10th, for those of you who are into the Southern Gospel singing, we are going to have the Johnson Family Quartet, and they're going to be coming and singing at LifeHouse Theater. You may recognize them. They've been in a number of our shows. In fact, all four of them were in the last Treasure Island we did. They are an amazing group of singers, and they know how to put on a show.
They do. You will not be sorry.
So July 10th, and if you're a season pass holder, it's only $10, so it's really cheap. And for after that, the next season, we have 4 more productions we're bringing in. We're going to bring in Damien, Great Minds of the Round Table 2, Heroes of the Faith, and we're bringing back A Christmas Song in My Heart.
So we'll look forward to all of those things. Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much. And we're going right from that to joining us now on the stage will be our Nathan Prince, our own Nathan Prince, who's our resident artistic director. And yes. And Nathan has been very involved in helping direct and coordinate our Life Tales, and those are for the school students that we do during the days, right?
Yes, sir.
They come in from home schools, private schools, and public schools at our theater. And also we go out too.
Yes, as we announced last season celebration, we were going to add another Life Tales. So this last season of 3 productions we did, we had very successful turnout for the added Life Tales. So there is a demand and desire for it. And as Wayne mentioned, there's actually a lot of schools now, their bus fares are like $1,500, $1,400 just to ship the kids to locations. So Raul Covero, he's an alumni here. He's a principal at a school, and he's like, hey, can you come and possibly do 3 shows at our school? And I was like, yeah, of course. I didn't realize, I forgot school started at 5:30, 6:30 in the morning for them. Not good for theater people. But anyway, so it was very successful, and we did 3 performances. The cast did an amazing job for that, and it's really inspiring. When they come to the theater, they're coming to a destination. But when you go to these schools, and I don't know the demographics, financial standings of any of those families there, but I asked the question to a lot of those kids, have you ever seen a play or a musical? And I think probably I'm going to have to guess, so I'm totally adding like 5. So 15 kids probably raised their hand, and they're the only, out of I think there was 1,200 kids that saw the whole production, that have never been to a production before. And so it's just another creative way to reach out to kids, and it was very moving and inspiring and a long day, but the cast did a great job, as I said. And
after a performance of Florence Nightingale, I think, a little girl came up to me and she said, this is the first time, I'd seen something like this. I want to be a nurse now. And that just really touches my heart when things like that happen.
Countless stories like that. And that's why I love being in charge overseeing the Life Tales, because I really do think it really pushes kids, not just to creative education, but inspiring them to do something, challenge them to step out in faith or be different, and it's okay. So. And
we have some new productions coming up this season, don't we?
Yes. And bing. There they are.
Spare no expense on sound effects here at LifeHouse.
Alexander Graham Bell in the fall. As you see in the winter, Jackie Robinson will be returning, and Clara Barton in the spring. I'm going to touch on that a little bit. With the Life Tales, I want to encourage anyone that wants to or wants to be a part of a production team or direct. This is a great way to do that, because if you've been involved with a big production, we don't have time to really focus on, hey, here's some helpful hints how you could direct. It's so quick. It moves very quickly, as you hear how much has been done in the last year. There's really no time for that. But with the Life Tales, it's a great way to have new directors come out, and I can kind of just help and give kind of things that help me, and then you can also show me your style, and we can learn from each other and help produce a show. And this upcoming season, I already have 1 person or 2 people that already have requested. So Ivy Manson and Emily Prince will be teaming up on Alexander Graham Bell. Yeah, let's give a round of applause. I'm still looking for the other 2, so please give me a call. No, but feel free to email me, or if you see me around, just pull me aside and I'll get your information on that.
Thanks so much, Nathan. I appreciate that. And for some time now, LifeHouse has also been growing virtually through the export of our productions both nationally and internationally. First, our audio drama series, LifeHouse Theater on the Air, has been meeting success with over 10,000 copies in circulation nationally as well as digitally. And now we're excited to share some new developments that Jeff DeWitt has been pursuing.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate over the last year. We've partnered with a company called Syntax Creative, and they have allowed us to put all 10 of our audio drama titles, as well as a couple of our musical CDs, online to all digital stores such as iTunes, Amazon. Apparently PlayStation has a digital store. I didn't know that, but you can buy it there if you want. But we haven't really had a venue to get our physical CDs out to the general public out there. Well, we just recently partnered with a company called Library and Educational Services. It's a really weird name for this, but they're a family-owned wholesale distributor out in Michigan, and they are taking our audio dramas. They are now going to manufacture them, they're going to promote and market them, and they're going to physically sell them. So all of that is now off of us, and all we have to do is produce them and create them. So that's more in our wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And that is kicking off in June. They've just gone back to press on a number of our titles that we were low on stock of. They bought all our remaining stock out of LifeHouse and are selling them out of their store.
And we're very excited to be able to reignite that series. Already 10 titles in the series, including Tom Sawyer and Pride and Prejudice, Count of Monte Cristo, Ricky Tikki Tavi, and several others. So we're very excited to be able to offer opportunities for other writers to develop these what amount to old-fashioned radio dramas in a way. They're very exciting to listen to.
And with the new partnership we have, it's allowing us to create some new audio dramas coming up. The very first one is going to be Ruth. So that's going to be our next audio drama. Should be out sometime within the next calendar year, though I know I'm targeting Christmas, but I may be.
Well, we're going to shoot for that. We'll try. We'll see what we can get done.
No pressure on the writer.
Yeah, we appreciate all the people who have participated in developing that series, and we're looking forward now to being able to go forward with it. And finally, LifeHouse Productions are having a national and international impact through our script catalog, are we not? Our productions are being produced literally around the globe, and Nathan here is our staff liaison to what is happening with our scripts around the world.
Yes, they are.
Tell us more.
Well, first of all, I'll start off with the map, I believe. Mark, is that what's first up there? Yeah, there's the United States. The blue is new this year. The United States, it's kind of shocking, but the United States is actually our slower of our purchases, actually. If we can go to the world map, please.
So these are productions that were staged all in the last 2 years.
Yes, the last 2 years. And then, as you can see, Britain, Wales, and all that area up in there, that's
exploded for us.
Yes, that's really where our sales have really hit a big increase this year greatly. And an insight on that, we actually had a company call us that teams up with Hillsong, and they called us about Wayne's Joseph. And they were wondering if they could have it translated into German, our exact version, but from German from beginning to start. So if you know the show and you push play, it follows it like line by line. I tried it, but I got confused. But
it was all in German.
It was all in German, and they teamed up with the Hillsong producers and some of the members of that group. What was really interesting about that group, what I really think is really awesome, I believe you will too, the two producers that did that, they actually paid for a plane ticket to come out here and see Moses. They just were so inspired, and they could not believe that everyone on stage, the caliber of everyone on stage, was all volunteer, because they don't understand that everyone gets paid where they work. And I was like, where?
Don't tell people that.
Please take me. I'm just kidding. No, but
you didn't hear that, actors. You didn't hear.
But
no. Pay no attention to that woman over there. All right.
No, but really the inspiring thing is that they were just so blessed and moved by the caliber and all the stuff that we're doing. We as LifeHouse as a whole are doing just for the community and people around us. And they were so inspired by the talents and gifts, really for no cost, for volunteer hours that you all put in and that we all put in as well. So I think that's really inspiring. And they're wanting to, there's 2 titles, and I'm not sure what title we're going to choose yet. But after a few meetings with Steve, Wayne, and myself, we'll figure out what that is. And the whole goal is to get all of our stuff translated into German. They're going to start selling it over there, so we can make a percentage of that as well.
And all the proceeds from that help us here at LifeHouse, the mothership so-called, so that we can continue doing what we do as well as we can. And Thank you, gentlemen, for all of this update. Really appreciate it. Thank you. And let's not forget that our current season continues right now and every weekend with a popular classic. And here now, premiering for the first time, is the trailer for The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, playing from now till June 12th.
When Adam's flesh and Adam's bone sits at Cair Paravel enthroned, the evil time will be over and done. Wrong will be right when Aslan comes in sight. At the sound of his roar, sorrows will be no more. When he bares his teeth, winter will meet its death. And when he shakes his mane, we shall have spring again.
We come to some special features of this evening's program. First, we conduct our highly anticipated drawing for some 23rd season passes, and joining me to assist in this happy task is our resident scenic designer, Tim Mahoney. And folks, have you noticed how good our sets have been lately? Tim has been with us since about age 12, and I remember at that age he was lifting up things far weightier than his own weight, I think, and has been smiling like that and helping us ever since. And he's actually won many, many awards and continues to for all of his design work, and we're very blessed to have you, Tim. And I think you're here to kind of keep this honest, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so
no cheating.
We want to award 2 season passes tonight, and you have those with you, and we're going to get those out. So I'm going to let you. Maybe I should shake that up a bit. I see your family on the top there. And no, I'm just kidding. No, all right. So choose one out at random, and we'll see who our first winner is. And it is, looks like Claude Scalbard? Right, I see that timid little hand back there. There you are. Congratulations. We're glad you won. And we will look forward to seeing you at all of our upcoming productions. Isn't it exciting to win something and you have no idea what it is? But we'll tell you in just a little while. We're going to keep the anticipation high. That was so much fun. Let's do it one more time.
Okay, one more. Here we go.
One more. And this time the winner is Bill Chat. Oh, there's a gasp of excitement. Congratulations, Bill, and we'll look forward to seeing you as our guest in this coming season. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate that. Now we come to our LifeHouse Scholarship presentation. As we keep the spirit of anticipation high, we come to the presentation of this year's LifeHouse Scholarship, and one of the ways we're pleased to invest in our young people is to offer an annual award toward encouraging further education, especially if applicants for the award demonstrate an interest in utilizing the arts for redemptive purposes, as we seek to do. This is our 10th year of presenting these awards, and tonight we're honored to present 2 $500 gifts to 2 deserving applicants from a number who applied this year as determined by our awards committee. And they tell me they had to really split hairs, as they often do, with all the wonderful applicants that we have the privilege of reviewing. So the committee reviews applicants' transcripts, achievements, letters of recommendation, and their responses to 3 essay questions. And they're looking for students who want to do what we do. That is, to make a proactive difference in our culture through the arts as informed by faith. The first of our 2 winners has participated as a performer in more than 15 LifeHouse stage productions, has choreographed 8 of our musicals, and has directed 2. She has been dancing for more than 15 years and sees the theater arts environment, particularly at LifeHouse, as a place of acceptance and a place where faith is grown. And she wrote in her essay that she would like to use theater to reach, I'm quoting now, to reach individuals who are specifically struggling with bullying and depression. So I'm pleased to announce our first award goes to Beth Ann Prince. Yes, come on. Let everybody see you out in audience land and live streaming land. Here you are. And what's next for you?
So right now I'm going back to school, obviously.
Going back to school?
To continue my business degree and whatnot, but I'm currently still at the theater, so I'm the volunteer coordinator there right now, but hopefully, really digging in with you and helping where I can and everything.
Well, I need the help, as you know.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Beth Ann, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Glad you won that. Very good. Thank you, Nathan. And our second award winner has participated extensively in theater, both at LifeHouse and at Arrowhead Christian Academy, where she has attended school. In addition to these activities, she has taken a number of honors courses in world history, literature, philosophy, English, and mathematics. That was always my toughest subject, math. Anyway, she excels in journalism and everything else she undertakes, having maintained a 3.71 grade point average or higher. And she'll be attending UC Santa Barbara in the fall, where she will continue pursuing theater and cultivate her love of singing. In her essay, she wrote that, quote, "It is easy to make performing arts about yourself. That's why it is so much more noticeable when you give the glory and attention to the one who gave you talent. That is what I strive to do." It's a pleasure now to present our second award to Cassidy Brown. Congratulations. I'm very proud of you. There you go. Way back in the day, I had the honor and privilege of starting the drama department at ACA. I think it was still standing then. And it's especially gratifying to see you have come so far in that program, which is wonderfully conducted. And congratulations, and we'll look forward to seeing and hearing more of you in the future. Thanks so much, Cassie. And now we come to another special place in our program where tonight we honor individuals who have been extraordinary volunteers at LifeHouse, contributing many hours of time and labor for many years. And who would be better to assist in this happy duty than our longtime volunteer coordinator, Liz Boone. Now, Liz, our first award winner, and I wish you could all see this. There's a beautiful, what would you call that? A crystal paperweight inscribed with a name?
Yes.
And I'm a little confused though. Beth Ann said she was the volunteer coordinator. So what are you? I want to hear this because
Well, I started out being the volunteer coordinator about 15 some years ago.
Yes, I know.
And
you're trying to weasel out of it and pass the baton, aren't you?
Then I sort of became the house manager and the volunteer coordinator. So I got a little on the busy side, so I enlisted my daughter, Beth Ann Boone, to become the volunteer coordinator, and I'll just run the house. Thank you very much.
All right.
Beth Ann Prince, I'm not used to that yet.
She's not giving her up. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you for all you do, Liz. And we have 3 outstanding volunteers who wish to honor this evening. The first has a long and venerable history with LifeHouse all the way back to the very beginning of our company. She has participated as a performer in many LifeHouse productions and has served as a director and music director countless times over the last 22 plus years. She also has the gift of hospitality because not only has she hosted many cast parties, She has coordinated our opening night receptions for cast, crew, and alumni for many years. She has also served many years on the LifeHouse Productions Advisory Board and may be counted upon to help in any situation. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking our first honoree. You can do the honors.
Marilyn Molnar.
Marilyn Molnar. Congratulations, Marilyn. It's an honor to have you up here, and thank you for all the countless hours you have put into LifeHouse, things that people don't, things that I don't even know you've done behind the scenes because you never want the credit, but we really appreciate all that you have done.
Well, it's my privilege and honor to be part of LifeHouse, really.
Thank
you for all the experiences and years and all the ministry opportunities. And as far as opening night, I just have a heart for you cast members because you are the backbone. I mean, without our cast members, where would we be? And through directing, I try to make the cast feel special, and that's why opening night is important to me, because I want you to celebrate your great accomplishment of opening each and every show. And thank you, casts.
Thank you, Marilyn. You can stay here if you want to. Our second honoree is someone who is an invaluable resource for LifeHouse. She's raised significant funds for our theater through social media, and she helps coordinate other volunteers. You also see her artistry every time you attend one of our productions. Someone has to paint and detail our many sets, and these are often intricate designs that require endless hours of meticulous and even tedious work. She helps working on our sets, and she keeps at it into the wee hours after others have left rehearsal to go home. Our scenic producer especially appreciates her, as he happens to be her husband. And so now let's join in appreciating our second honoree, Jamie Mahoney. Yes, I should have mentioned that Jamie has an assistant as well, and I kid you not, Reese does her fair share of helping and painting, and so it's wonderful to have both of you here, and congratulations and thank you, Jamie. We appreciate all your hard work. Thank you. And you too, Reese. Appreciate that very much. Yes, I know, I have that effect. All right. Well, thank you both. We really appreciate it. And, oh wait, I said there were three, didn't I? You know, Liz, if you go over there, there's a box there, and if you lift up the lid, whose name is on that?
That's pretty sneaky.
I thought it was pretty clever, actually. All right, well, we've already explained what you do, and so, but we are are you actually speechless?
I am.
That's some doing. Anyway, thank you, Liz. Thank you all. We appreciate your valuable contributions. Absolutely, Jamie.
So when I came to LifeHouse, I'd never seen a show because of Tim. I kind of, actually, our joke is he married me for my painting skills. But the crazy thing, which when I was doing the interview for the video, is that I've never taken an art class. I've never done anything like that. And so these sets have really helped me grow in my painting skills. And so Tim just says, paint it. And I'm like, okay. So with my little helper, if you see little handprints here and there, that's probably her. And it's probably a completely different color than what it's supposed to be, but she helped. But yeah, it's really actually been a blessing to me to help paint the sets, even though it's very stressful at the same time. So if you want to help paint, please, I need you. But yeah, it's been a blessing to me as I can help display what God has blessed me with to paint on the sets. So thank you.
Well, you each have amazing and unique gifts, and we thank you for the way you've employed them. We're grateful to all of you ladies. Thank you so much. Well, so far we've welcomed a number of our LifeHouse family to our stage. And that common family feeling we share at LifeHouse has developed over many months and years of forging friendships, working and serving together, often in stressful and high-pressure circumstances. But through it all, we're blessed to call LifeHouse home. Here with a musical reminder of our special place and mission at LifeHouse is the remarkably talented Xander Legaspi, who will favor us with the song, This Is Home. And he'll be accompanied on stage by our good friend Mike Kessler. Thank you, Mike.
As we all labor on earth here below, burdened with cares and hearts heavy as stone, we're on a journey, but not alone. No, we have found friends here, blessed cathedral where God is adored. Be now our stage where the arts are restored. Thank you, dear Lord, this is home. This sanctuary that we chaperone will be a place where new memories are grown. We have a refuge all our own. Yes, we have a place here. We have ascended to new heights unknown. Fertile new grounds where new seeds can be sown. This is our refuge. This is home. Nothing worth achieving happens overnight, but we kept believing, and God faithfully showed us His light. And so now we are blessed with a place of our own, by faith we're thriving in our home. Yes, God has provided. Often we've worried and carried our woe, but God keeps guiding, and deep down we know He will be gracious to our home. And now we've been entrusted with the dream come true. Will God find us faithful? That will depend upon me and on you. So dear God, help us honor you as we're on stage. Use every song, every script, every page, every performer is our own. Lord, guide us, direct us. God, we are yours, and to you will be true. We want to serve you with our gratitude. Thank you, dear Lord, for our home. Thank you, dear Lord.
Thank you so much, Xander. Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Xander, so much. We appreciate your using your talents in the way that you do. And now it gives me great pleasure and a great deal of personal pride to introduce tonight's keynote speaker, someone I deeply respect, admire, and yes, love. She is a registered clinical psychologist and licensed marriage and family therapist, and she rotates among 3 clinics between here, San Bernardino, and Banning, and has her own private practice, so we're like ships passing in the night. She's also an adjunct professor at Cal Baptist Riverside. Tonight, she will explore some thoughts on the benefits of theater arts under the umbrella title, Why Am I Here? I know her as Dr. Sweetie, but you know her as Dr. Tammy Bradshaw Scott.
You just passed. Did you see that? Thanks, sweetie. Good evening. And whatever you do, in word or in deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God, the Father, through him. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, choosing to spend your evening with us this evening. We really, really appreciate you. I want to begin by asking you a question, a rhetorical question. I want to ask you, why are we here? Why are we here in this world, in this earth, at this time? Well, that all depends on your perspective. If you have an eternal perspective or a here and now perspective. Many people live their life every day with a here and now perspective. But tonight I want to focus on our eternal perspective. The eternal perspective is really all about the Great Commission that the Lord gave us. To reach out in our communities, in our world. Oftentimes the Lord calls us to a different country across the seas, but more often than not, he has called us to our own communities, in our own backyard. But most often, we don't take time to stop and think about that. So, what is our mission? What is our mission field? I believe it's in our communities, in Redlands, San Bernardino, and the surrounding communities. Sometimes it takes major events or something catastrophic to happen in our life to cause us to slow down and really ask that question, what am I here for? And have more of an eternal perspective. I've always had a passion to serve the Lord since I gave him my life at 19 years old. I've always wanted to be a part of what God is doing in people's lives. But 6 years ago, I lost my daughter, Rachel. And after losing Rachel, and since then, I have had an urgency in my heart that time to use my time and my resources for the Lord. It's like the sense of I want to squeeze in as much as I can, every day that I can, every moment, and make every moment count for eternity for the Lord. As we look at the current events around us, in our communities, our country, our world, we realize that there is an urgency to have an eternal perspective. I want to mention 2 major issues that face us in our surrounding communities. I know this first and foremost because I work in the communities. I see every day the brokenness and the tragedies of lives that are lost and without hope and without meaning. 2 of these main issues I want to discuss with you. The suicide rate that has increased at an alarming rate and the increase in violence. The suicide rate is up 24% in the U.S. since 1999. The CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, released a report in April of this year showing that youths are at the highest risk for suicide. And suicide among girls ages 10 to 14 has increased 200% since 1999. This is staggering. And then girls between the ages of 15 and 24 have also increased by 53%. Some of you may know by reading the papers that just in the past couple months, we lost 3 teens here in Redlands to suicide. Violence, the increase in violence. As my husband mentioned, I work in San Bernardino, and I have to rotate between 4 different clinics. And one of them is literally in the projects. And as I drive from clinic to clinic, I see people on the street, and I pray for them. They come into the clinics, and I've had amazing opportunity to share the Lord with a lot of these people. But it's heartbreaking. In San Bernardino alone this year, there's been almost 50 deaths. I drive down the one street, and there's still flowers and candles where a young person was shot and killed just within a couple weeks. I see so much despair, brokenness, and hopelessness. If you saw what I saw and see every day, it would completely break your heart. I hear people say that they don't watch the news because it's too depressing. I agree, it can be. But we avoid reality and what is happening in our world. I believe that Jesus has called us to be the light in the darkness, to shine his light of hope to our communities so that they will turn to him instead of suicide and violence. We are called, folks, to be the light in the darkness. But I understand it is very easy to get distracted with the fast-paced culture. All you have to do is drive down the freeway, right? And you're like, whoa, everybody's going 90 miles an hour. That's how we live our lives. And it's easy to get distracted. In fact, I've heard missionaries say, as the Americans were coming back over home, the Americans say, we're praying for you. And the missionary said, no, we're praying for you because you have so much distractions to pull you away from the work of God. So sometimes we need to slow our pace and take inventory of the bigger picture beyond ourselves, beyond our lives. At lunchtime, I make a practice to pull away from all the craziness and all the work and what I'm doing with patients, and I go out to my car and just sit quietly and have my Bible and just have a time alone with the Lord to be refreshed, to be refocused, and drawing from his strength to do what he's called me to do. You know, it is a true privilege that we get to invest in the lives through LifeHouse, and that it's so much bigger than the entertainment. As you've already heard tonight, as you've already seen, the testimonials, so moving. Dave Hurley, so moving. Thank you for sharing that. Because even within our own community, within LifeHouse community, we see lives that are constantly encouraged and inspired. And that's not even looking outside of the other community. Tremendous opportunity we have. It is about his message of hope. We are investing in God's message of hope. Our communities need hope, our country needs hope, and our world needs hope. I wanted to speak with you tonight because I do see firsthand the pain and suffering, the lives that are desperate and lost. I guess what I'm asking you to do is to go a bit deeper tonight with me. Look beyond the surface and look into eternity, because really, it's just around the corner. The reality, though, is it takes money. It takes the talent. It takes all the efforts everyone makes and the volunteers and everything, but it also takes money to keep LifeHouse going and the ministry going. Paul the Apostle instructed the New Testament church to bring their extras into the storehouse so there would be no need among the people. That's our job. If I said to you tonight, if you gave $600, it would make a profound, life-changing difference in a young person or in a family. But you don't have to pay it all up front. You could make payments. You could pay $50 a month. So can you envision the lives with me? The lives that could be changed. I'm going to ask you to consider, look around in this church, in this auditorium, and see all the people sitting here. If just 300 folks were to commit to $50 a month for 1 year, that would bring us out of the negative. And it's tax deductible. So you could give it to the government or you could give it to LifeHouse. That means just the 300 extra people giving $50 a month, it would give a surplus of $15,000 a month for the theater. And that would definitely provide every month. How wonderful that would be for the staff to get paid on time. Amen? And less gray hair for Wayne as he continues to work to raise money every single month. You know, my husband follows the principles of God. The theater suffers financially because we, the body of Christ, are not doing what needs to be done. I do thank all of you, so many of you who continue to give to support the theater. The truth is, the enemy would love to see LifeHouse close. Just look at all the testimonials, look at all the lives that have been changed and continue to be changed. And the battle is definitely spiritual, but it keeps going relentlessly. My husband and the staff are worn. They're weary. I've watched this past year the tiredness in my husband. I personally think it is tragic that the staff and my husband don't get paid on time, which affects their families. I know that's probably shocking to some of you, but they don't. And it's been very, very sad and hard to watch because these folks, this team of devoted, godly people, are pouring in their hearts, their souls, their lives into the theater because they have witnessed and they believe with all their heart in the lives that are changed. It's not just, they could go get other jobs that they would probably be paid very well for, but they're devoted. My husband is devoted because they know and they see what you saw tonight in the testimonials. I truly would love nothing more than to see the staff get paid on time every payday and bills to be paid on time. And I would love to see my husband be able to pour more of his time and his energy into the creative side of LifeHouse, which is his calling and his giftedness. So, let's do it, my friends. Let's take this amazing opportunity to invest in LifeHouse that is a bright light in the community. It's a beacon of hope. Trust me, it is a beacon of hope. Let's have an eternal perspective and see the broken and despairing lives around us be changed. So, here's my challenge for you tonight. If you currently are not a consistent donor, I'm asking that you would give $50 a month for 1 year, starting tonight through next year's season celebration. Then we can reconvene and we can talk about how awesome God has used those funds and what he has done. If you are currently giving monthly, would you please consider to increase that by $25 a month or by purchasing season passes tonight? Wayne and I also will be committing with you to increase our giving. Do you know that we have over 400 alumni every year? Isn't that awesome? 400 alumni every year. That's a lot of alums. If each of them gave only $50 a month, well, that'd be $20,000 a month. Imagine that. Imagine the bills being paid. Imagine being able to go beyond and continue to reach out. My husband has such a vision God has given him in his heart. And I would love to see the Lord expand on that in that territory. But it takes you and I. So Lord, open the eyes of our understanding and help us to see how critical this is for us to make a commitment to give to the amazing work that you are doing at LifeHouse. We know, Lord, that you say that to whom much is given, much is required. Lord, we have been given so much. We are truly a blessed people. Help us to respond in obedience to you. Help us to not take for granted what you have given to us. Help us keep in front of us those desperate, broken, and hopeless lives who need to hear your message of hope. Help us, Lord, maintain an eternal perspective, slowing our pace in order to notice our priorities are not in line with yours. Jesus, thank you for allowing us to honor you and the privilege of giving and investing in lives for eternity. For this is why we are here. Amen.
Well, thank you, sweetie. I didn't know what Tammy would share this evening. We really are ships passing the night, but I appreciate your heartfelt words, sweetie. And we're not just about ourselves. I think most of you know that we are committed to being a service organization. We want to serve the community and really be good ambassadors for the one whom we serve. We actually work with a number of charitable organizations in the community because we want to give back. We have partnerships with Ronald McDonald House. We give free passes and seats to patients and to families who need that kind of encouragement that we try to present on our stage. We work with Youth Hope of Redlands, who have a ministry to homeless young people, usually about, on average, 3,000 in Redlands alone, who sleep everywhere in the Redlands Bowl and various nooks and crannies throughout the community. We try to help them as well. In fact, some of our own actors have portrayed some of these young people for fundraisers for Youth Hope. We work with Totally Kids Rehabilitation Hospital, and we always have a contingent of the Salvation Army at almost every production, a wonderful group of men who are changing their lives and want to be uplifted by some of the things that we do. So we do try to give back. It's not just about us. And you have a partnership with all of these things too when you partner with us. We have a little pie chart I'd like to show you. Tammy referred to a figure of $15,000. That is our monthly shortfall. You see, ticket sales cover about 41% of what we have in terms of revenue, and the rest has to be made up with donors and sponsors. To be honest with you, last December or so, I started running into a brick wall in meeting that $15,000 gap, just not able to find new sponsors and other people who would be able to help me fill that gap. We don't have a fundraising committee. There aren't a lot of people who have the kind of time that's needed to help bridge that gap. And by the way, it's not because we're bad stewards. Everyone on our staff has just agreed to take at least a 10% pay cut, except our hourlies, and we have legalities to consider about that, of course. We have a coming wage increase that we have to be concerned about. But we ran into a bit of a brick wall in getting those new sponsors. We have had the problem with the local terrorism, and so we've had to add security, and that has added about $800 to $1,000 a month. We have had workman's compensation reclassification, kind of a devilish thing that happens from time to time that was totally unexpected, and that's raised our insurance premiums. We've had some visionary, generous donors that we've counted upon for many years just pass away, a couple of them who were key. And one of them was my childhood pastor who lived to age 99. I couldn't expect much more out of that dear man. I used to mow his lawn from elementary school through college because I loved him so much and he meant so much to me in my life. Now I want to give that back. And that dear pastor was I don't know where all the money came from, retirement bonds or something, but he was really believing in what we were trying to do in the community. And finally, the cost of everything has gone up. Our equipment, our materials, you name it, and we all know about the minimum wage increases that are coming. So tonight's event is a linchpin component of our year's fundraising, and ideally we would raise about $50,000 this evening. Lest you think that's outlandish, we've actually done it a few years ago, a night just like this. So we're praying that God will work in your heart to consider what you might do. We're not going to lock any doors or anything. No guilt trips. We know some of you are already giving. Many of our alumni are giving tons of time, and you've given in that way. But if there is something you can do, we would appreciate your inviting the Lord to work in your heart and see what that might be. If not tonight, perhaps in the coming days. At this time, we will give a little time to just have some reflection. We'll be announcing our new season in just a few moments, but meanwhile, as the lights come up a bit, we have volunteers available in the aisles to distribute any pins or response brochures or envelopes that you may need so that they can collect those from the aisles, or you can give those at the door on your way out, or we'll have donation stations near the pavilion outside where we're going to have some delicious desserts. So tonight I might also encourage you to receive the best possible deal on season passes, and that will all be out there as well near the pavilion. So while you think about how you may wish to invest in LifeHouse Theater and our outreach, you'll have a few moments to fill out those response forms. If you're led to turn them in tonight, we appreciate that. And as we are considering those things, we'll be favored now with a musical selection as performed by Mike Kessler at the piano as he accompanies some more visual retrospectives of our past 22 years. Mike, thank you so much. We could appreciate that. All right. Well, now as we continue to celebrate and anticipate, I'd like to call back to the stage Tim, Jeff, and Nathan to assist as we prepare to announce our new 23rd season. As they're coming up, let me allow myself to speak to you as insiders, as the family that you are. I'm going to admit candidly, because of the situations we've described, that the price of our regular weekend tickets that you buy over the phone or online or in person at our box office are going up, and they're going up a bit significantly after holding steady for many years. And we've been doing a bit of market research and have discovered that we have been for quite a long time the lowest priced theater just about in the Inland Empire, with one or two exceptions, and especially when you consider that no other community theater that you can find anywhere performs as much or as often as we do. Now that's just not to brag, we just feel we're second to none. We want to be second to none. We want to have a high standard and excellence for His excellency. So we have no choice but to raise those prices if we're to continue to be viable in a climate where in the last 4 years over 1,000 theater arts companies have closed in this country. One, the Cabrillo Playhouse in is that Thousand Oaks, a huge company that has ironically also been in theater business for 22 years and has hosted Broadway musicals. They have just had to announce that they're closing. It's big news in that area. So that's why I want to urge you to consider tonight season passes, because this is a great way to enjoy tremendous value, and we strongly urge you to consider that if you haven't before. And you have two options this year. We have our regular season passes, and you can see the benefits: maximum savings on a full season, flexibility, no fees, you get that free cookie and coffee, and preferred parking, and specially priced tickets for our Sunday night specials. We also have something fairly new that we want to introduce to you that has additional benefits: a new Pick 4 pass. Maybe you can't get to all the season productions, but maybe you can see 4 of them, and you can use this as an economic alternative for guests unable to attend all of the productions. It features the same flexibility as the season pass, and by the way, we're kind of spoiled, but no other theater anywhere that we know of has such gracious pass benefits and policies for exchanges and the way you can use your passes. We know because we've tried to kind of ease over to the way other theater groups do it, and we've had rebellion on our hands. So we're not going to do that. We're going to still give you those same flexible policies, and you can use them for any 4 performances anytime during the 23rd season. None of those fees, and these are available for a limited time. And tonight,
when it comes to the
yes.
fees, it's only no fees when reserving your tickets. There are still fees when you exchange or cancel a Pick 4 ticket.
Yes, that's true.
That does not apply to the season passes, though.
All right. Okay, very good. So all those blasted hidden fees. So you want to get the main season pass if you possibly can, right?
I want to repeat that one more time?
Yeah. When it comes to the fees, the season pass has no fees when you make your reservations or if you have to cancel or exchange your tickets for a different night. However, with the Pick 4 pass, there are no fees when you make your reservations, but if you do need to cancel or reschedule, there are regular fees for that pass.
Right, that doesn't change. However,
and it does not apply to the perks that you get for the Sunday night specials. That is only for the full season pass holders.
All right, we've made that as clear as possible. And our box office staff, who are second to none, and Lord bless them, they are wonderful people on the front lines. They can explain anything that you might have a question about. Let's look real quick at a comparison of pricing. And you're going to see that the season pass is a tremendous savings, because even though our prices are going up significantly in both sections of the theater, and by significant I mean about $4 in the front, $2 in the second section, to be a little bit more in line with the value we believe we're presenting, you'll get a $16 per show rate. That's a $64 savings throughout the year. $8 per ticket. And then you can see the other price comparisons there. The Pick 4 adult pass, roughly half, and so forth. So you can see how that plays out. We hope that that is a tremendous value that you'll consider. And now that we have stretched anticipation almost to the limit, the time has finally come to unveil our new season. And we are pleased to present 3 all-new musicals and the return of past favorites backed by popular demand. As you know, we take an audience survey, and we have gotten some great input. So first up, we have an all-new LifeHouse original this fall, a musical filled with outrageous fun, The Emperor's New Clothes. And I'll just bet you're wondering how we're going to handle that. I may have to appear before the city council with regard to zoning. I don't know. No, honest. You know how we tell stories, and we're going to be family friendly. We're going to have a lot of fun with that one. The pride and arrogance of a ridiculous emperor sparks laughable events that lead to the hilarious revelation of truth as spoken through the wisdom of a child. So be sure to join us for that one to kick off our 23rd season.
Next, just in time for the Christmas season, is the return of an old favorite that sold out when last performed. Our unforgettable original musical version of It's a Wonderful Life. The true spirit of Christmas touches George Bailey and all who witness his amazing encounter with a wayward angel.
Then right after Christmas, and backed by popular demand, the return of our hit comedy take on an age-old biblical story, Noah. Critics and audiences alike have raved about the contemporary music, the creativity, and the symbolic staging of this timeless account of Noah and the flood story.
Next up, the return of a LifeHouse fantasy favorite that is fun for the whole family. It's Back to Neverland with Peter Pan. Once again, we rejoin Tinkerbell, the mysterious Tiger Lily, the Croc and the Clock, and Wendy as they team up with Peter Pan to thwart Captain Hook and his zany henchmen.
And coming up after Peter Pan is one of LifeHouse's most requested biblical musicals, a sweet musical of love and redemption, Ruth. This uplifting story of devotion is faithfully retold as we rediscover Ruth's special place in the family lineage leading to Jesus.
And then a popular favorite returns for the summer as we once again share enchantment, fun, and adventure with the Wizard of Oz. We'll follow a tornado down a yellow brick road from Kansas to the Emerald City and meet all our favorite friends from Oz. This touching story of Dorothy and Toto is an Inland Empire favorite seen by thousands of people at the Redlands Bowl.
Next is the premiere of our latest new biblical musical, the powerful true story of Abraham and Sarah. Join us as we journey with Abraham and Sarah as they trust God's promises to bless them with a new son, a new home, and a new nation.
And finally, you have long been asking for LifeHouse to present our own original musical version of this story. It has topped our audience surveys as #1 for many years. At long last, LifeHouse Theater's 23rd season will come to a stunning finale with the premiere of our own The Phantom of the Opera. I have the privilege of working with an amazing orchestrator and composer, Zach Marsh, who is a resident composer now for VeggieTales. He's done national commercials, and he has a real passion for our version of what this might look like. So we're going to be working hard on that, and that will be the concluding production for our 23rd season. It'll be a faithful new version of the classic story that will follow the ominous plans of the Phantom for his beloved Christine as sinister plots combine with comedy for an epic musical of romance and intrigue. And there you have it, our 23rd season. We hope and pray that you will enjoy that season, that you'll consider joining us all season long, and we'll look forward to sharing that with you as well as many other stories. And I pray that a year from now, when we meet together again, we'll have a lot of new and interesting stories to relate of how God and his hand has been working in our midst here together. Thank you for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few moments now, we'll be dismissed, and you can go to the pavilion where I understand there's some very tempting desserts, and all complimentary, of course, and other refreshments. And then you can get those season passes tonight, the best rate possible, and any other contributions you'd care to make as led, we appreciate as well. Thank you for joining us. It means so much to us. I bid you good night, and God bless. Thank you.
Walk forward, move onward, though the path may be unknown. Keep your eyes on the light in the sky. Walk onward, move upward, though you're feeling all
toward home.